ARK is in bear territory. Let's talk about it on Kyle Talks Money. In the past 5 days, the ARK Innovation ETF by Cathie Wood is down 13.8%. In the past month, it's down 24%. Year to date, it's down 25%. Cathie Wood has everyone fooled with her 5-year plans. One of the most interesting rebuttals to bears pointing out the obvious flaws and bad price action in ARK is, quote, buy the dip because Cathie Wood said this is a 5-year plan, end quote. This sounds great in theory and probably calms the bag holders at night, but realistically, it's horrible advice. In the 2000 dot-com bubble, people who were buying every stock with .com at the end probably thought it was a good idea. In fact, when the bubble popped and many investors kept averaging down, they probably had the same thought. It'll go back up in 5 years anyway, right? Wrong. From the peak of the tech bubble, it took the Nasdaq nearly 12 years to return back to where it was. Even if you pick the top of the cream, let's say Microsoft, it didn't return to its peak 2000 price again until 2010. So saying everything is a 5-year plan and you'll be a millionaire in 2026 is great until they're stuck holding a stock, or in this case ETF, for 10 years in the red. What makes all of this worse is that Cathie Wood trades daily. One of the reasons index tend to go up is because the winners tend to occupy larger and larger percentages of the index over time. For example, there could be a company today that's only a small percentage of the index, but if the company continues to perform strongly and the stock goes up, it becomes a large portion of the index, thus benefiting the index holder. But Cathie doesn't let that natural process take place. She constantly sells Tesla on up days to dilute her funds with other stocks. That may not be nearly as strong. This destroys the entire purpose of a 5-year plan. Buyer beware of ARK, and if you're a bag holder, probably a good idea to sell. Good luck to all. 82% upvote. And let's see what the response is to this. I'm not a fan of Cathie, but it's really funny to me that people were investing in speculative growth and are then shocked when they encounter volatility. Someone else says, anyone who didn't get out when she said the future market cap of self-driving taxis is $12 trillion only has themselves to blame. Laugh out loud. A 30% loss after a 200% gain sounds less painful than it is. 200% is measured from bottom, 30% is nested from the top. That's very true. Adjusted, ARK has just barely outperformed the S&P, but cost 40 times in fees versus S&P 500 ETF. Going back to the index investing is the way to go. That's okay, it will weed out the kids once they sell low and lose money. I wonder how all these people holding GameStop are doing, or WKHS, or health stocks, Zoom, etc. All the retail investors that only saw the highest climbing their investment history from summer, that needs a spell, 2020 till summer 2021. Everybody is an investment guru when everything goes up 300%, regardless if it has no fundamentals, no revenue, newly announced IPO, or a next shitcoin. And then every time the stock dips for a few days, they exclaim the dot-com bubble is happening again, end quote. Absolutely zero parallel between today's market and the time of the dot-com bubble. That's very true. Let's then look at another post by Delicious Reporter. Cathie Wood's ARK Innovation Fund is in bear market. It's been a dismal week for Cathie Wood's flagship fund, ARK Innovation, that's left nearly all of her holdings in bear market. Wood's main exchange-traded fund, which trades under ticker symbol ARKK, fell 12.6% this week. For its worst week since February, ARK Innovation dropped 5.5% on Friday. She also said her strategies are set to quadruple over the next 5 years after their underperformance this year. Do you buy into that, or are you taking anti-ARK path? 83% upvote ratio. Let's see what people have to say about that. I mean, I think the general idea around a lot of the ARK funds would be, hey, I want to diversify into a long-term high-risk, high-reward play with a small percentage of my portfolio. These funds should be framed in a 30-year perspective and not where you leave your retirement funds, in my opinion. Another person says, anything suggesting they'll even be around in 10 years, much less 30. Look at her track record, dude. She performs well short term, but once 3 to 5 years pass, she'll always start losing. And she's never, not once, recovered from a bleed. On the contrary, she's abandoned her former funds, which kept underperforming despite following her ingenious long-term strategy nonsense. I told my friend this over a year ago, or whenever it was near its top. I never followed her much. He blew up my messenger with her articles and said he was basically buying what she was. And I told him she basically bought all the right things at the right time, purely riding a mania phase of the market. Told him to just max out his 401k first and then leftovers speculate. He didn't do well. Here's another one. I don't even understand why anyone would buy ARK. You could just buy the stocks in the fund and not have to pay the outrageous management fees. I mentioned that about a year ago when the fund was doing good, and someone on here said, quote, you want the same trades Cathie is doing, end quote. To me, this is absurd because one would have to believe that Not only is Cathie gifted at allocating capital and beating the market, but she is also an amazing active trader. ARK is a joke. It's no coincidence that her garbage rocketed in 2020. Without infinite QE and ZRP, her portfolio is just a bunch of unprofitable trash. Anyone who held S&P has outperformed her and will continue to outperform her in the coming years. And last one, it's probably a good time to buy it as it's hard to imagine it's going to go down much further. However, I got out of it when it hit $130 this year and I'm not buying back in. I love most of the stocks it holds, but how they daily trade, it seems pretty weird to me, so I'm staying away from it now. So what do you think? Are you guys invested in ARK, and do you guys still believe in Cathie Wood? And remember, take care of your money.